Peachy here. Welcome back to another episode of the Frankston Flipper, a reselling channel, but it looks like trying to buy items low and sell them for, a lot of profit, sell them for high. That's basically what you want to do. It's all about the profit. And today we've got a bit of a different episode. We have headed up to my old hometown, Albury. The reason we did head up to Albury was unfortunately a family member did pass away, and there was a funeral that I had to attend. And we were only up there for about a day. We went up there for a day, but then we had the funeral and a lot of the family sort of stuff. And so we didn't get too much thrifted in. I think we only went to about 4 stores in total, and about 2 of them were pretty average. So we're going to go along, show you my Geelong trip, my Albury trip. I'll show you my pickups at the end, and we'll see how we go. So a little bit different. We're not going to Savers today. And I was a little bit surprised at some of the good stuff up there. So let's go. And our bags are packed. We are ready to go. We're almost ready to go. There's just one thing. It's a road trip. So we need some road trip snacks. We've got the chocolate, the hazelnut chocolate. We've got wine gums. I've been loving these things lately. I've got the Coke for myself and some Red Bull for Carla, just to keep her alert and firing. She's doing the first part of the trip, I think, the driving. I'll be the passenger, so I'm happy just to sit back and relax, maybe get some footage of the trip. And it is raining, which is okay. It's not raining hard, just a bit of annoying rain. It's not spitting, but it's raining hard enough. We're going to head up to Albury. I'm not going to talk for 20 minutes while we drive up there. I'm just going to have a quick little, here's this place. We're going to go really quickly up to Albury, not spend 20 minutes talking. And we headed off to a few different places. Nice little trip. We took the back way, which is kind of through Bonnie Doon, and coming onto the Hume Highway. There's Bonnie Doon. There's the bridge. We're going to Bonnie Doon. We're going to Bonnie Doon. It's a castle reference, in case you don't know that. The water level there was a bit low. I don't think the Kerrigans will be doing too much boating, and pretty much just like that, we were on the Hume Highway, and we were heading into Albury, well, Lavington in particular. Before the funeral, I decided to check out my dad's old house, reminisce. And unfortunately, there's about 6 white cars. It's like a wrecking yard or something similar to it. And we also decided we'd head off to Lavington and check out the Salvos. There's a massage place there too. We didn't go to that. I didn't go to that, I promise you. There is a Salvos, Lavington Salvos, Mate Street, Albury, or Lavington. And we got in and I saw the carpet and I was like, wow, that's like 70s carpet, really old carpet. And they had this a Ralph Lauren polo t-shirt, or polo, what do you want to call it, shirt. Didn't pick it up, but nice red colour. I do like a bit privy to red. And they also had this motorbike jacket, a little bit expensive. They were asking probably overs on this. Maybe if you want to buy it for your personal, that's okay, but to resell it, definitely overs. Probably can't make too much money. But just cool thing. Do like picking up motorbike jackets when they're priced well, which isn't that often. And some of the toys, I think they had this. Is that a Furby? But I'd put that back. I see that in Savers all the time. They can't be that rare or that hard to buy. And just some of the toys they had in their itinerary, I guess you want to call it. Also found this Michigan Wolverines t-shirt, University of Michigan. It was new with tags, which is pretty much what made it stand out for me. I guess for the purpose of the video, I also need to pick up stuff. To get back and say I bought nothing. It's going to be a bit of a dud video. But new with tags, pretty cool to get that. And it wasn't priced that badly anyway. And they had the Pride of the Nation, like the Socceroos. I think this is when they beat Uruguay to get qualified into the World Cup many years ago. I was actually watching that with my dad. And when the guy kicked the goal, something happened with the cat, and the cat went crazy. This is one of the best buys I've done for a while. $12 for an NFL jersey, and a really nice one. It's a real one. It's a good size. I have picked them up cheaper, but they're generally a smaller size. That's a beautiful jersey. I'm happy to pick that one up any day of the week. And we also did find, there's Carla just looking at probably my motorbike jacket and a couple of other things. But we also did find this huge Care Bear. This thing was new with tags, which is good. Bit dirty on the nose. But it was $4, which at Savers, and there's colour model in it. That just shows how big that thing is. It's massive. And then we also headed off to this other op shop. This was after the funeral and the wake. So we headed off to this one, a very tiny op shop, really nice ladies in here, but didn't have too much. The DVDs, it was only a really tiny one, this one, but they did give us this nice list of all the op shops in the area. So, well, we didn't pick up a whole heap here, or Carla picked up a bit. I picked up nothing. It's always good to go into these type of op shops. We don't get the chance to go into them that often. And one thing I did have a bit of a look at was this Lego. Carla did pick this up, new and sealed Frozen Lego. We've got a friend that loves Frozen, so we'll give that to their daughter. And they also had like this art set with textures and other stuff, which we'll also buy and hand off to her to have a bit of Elsa fun, Frozen fun. More of the t-shirts in this place. There wasn't a whole heap, so they'd have a lot of this Bisley workwear. So again, there wasn't, in terms of clothing, men's clothing, not much to brag about. And they had this little separate area just off to the side, and they had this Peter Rabbit. Do these still go well? I don't know. I didn't pick it up. But I think some of these plates can go okay. And they also had more like DVDs here. Nothing to write home about. So like I said, I didn't really pick up anything. We did get that Elsa stuff, and they had these books, but probably more harm than good picking up those type of things. Even though they had the full set, I didn't worry about it. And McLovin's Pizza, if you're ever in Lavington, head out to McLovin's Pizza. These guys have been around for years, and I still say their pizza is the best I've ever had. And we did pick up a couple of nice pizzas. We headed back to our hotel room, which was the Siesta, which is like a Mexican-themed hotel. I picked up a Meat Lovers, and I think it's the base that makes these pizzas so good. And just a nice, solid, thick, crunchy base. And Carla picked up a lamb gourmet pizza, and that's the Meat Lovers there. Just a good pizza. And I think it's all in the crust, the base of the pizza. And this is the Siesta. This is kind of the start of the pool. Bit of a nice waterfall. But then you turn around, go through the gates and all that, and you can kind of see the lagoon type pool. Don't think they really maintain it that well at the moment. But it's a nice little area, and you can kind of jump off rocks and stuff. And they had an indoor pool, so that's pretty much what their focus is in winter, I guess, is the indoor pool. And they kind of also got this really cool siesta hat, and it's a spa, so you can go in that. And we didn't quite get to go in at this time because time constraints and all that were pretty busy. And that's your pool from the other side. So it's kind of got that Mexican feel. It's got the palm trees, cactuses around. So it's like a Mexican-themed resort, which is interesting. And the next morning, we're getting ready to leave. That Care Bear's taken up so much room, we can barely get our luggage in. So what do we do with the Care Bear? We put it in the back seat. Care Bear is stay in the back seat, and decided we'd head out to the cemetery to see my dad. Haven't been here for a while, and there's my dad's plaque, Lowell Larrikin. And then we got this list. This is the list I was talking about the op shops. It's got all the ones in Lavington, Albury, and having been a bit more organised, this list would be awesome to have. And after the cemetery, we headed off to Vinnie's in Lavington, and I bag out Vinnie's quite a bit, but this Vinnie's was a fantastic store. Well looked after, great staff, everything's organised, quite a good size. It's not all cramped up. And off to the plush toys, they had, I think it was like a hockey type toy. I don't know what it was. It was pretty cool, but I didn't pick up into the plush. I don't normally pick up too much plush these days, besides the big Care Bear. And that's the plush section. I didn't really have too much toys or plush, which was kind of good because I had some good clothing. They had a basketball jersey of the Knicks, but it was a very small one. I think this might have been the kids' part, the start of it was the kids. And had a New Day, a WWE t-shirt. I did like picking up WWE t-shirts, and that was only $10. Should I have got it? I don't know. I did pick up this WrestleMania t-shirt, and that's WrestleMania 33. So not quite vintage or anything, but definitely a good novelty type item to have in the future. And we did find this Highlanders. So you don't see this too often in Melbourne. So it's a Super Rugby Highlanders jersey. And it was only about $12, so I'm happy to pick that one up and hopefully make a bit of profit on this item. So it was pretty cool. And Carla actually found this. It was a Sydney 2000 hat. It also had like a Nike symbol on it. And I got a bit excited until I saw that it was a $20 price tag on it. So I'm not sure what these go for. I didn't comp it. We didn't have time. We were very rushed. Like I keep saying, we were rushed. We couldn't really do too much. And it's like a Hull FC jacket. And didn't really comp up that well. It was 150 years of Hull FC. I thought this was going to be a winner. But they're only going for about $20-$30 on eBay. So they're not going for heaps. And they wanted like $15 for it. So yeah, I can get my revenue up and look great. But no, I'm about profit. And this Jordan, North Carolina jersey. I'm not sure if this was fake or real. It obviously looked a bit fake, but it was actually quite good quality. And these days the fakes, who knows? It was a bit cheaper. I may have picked it up, but they were asking just a little bit too much for it because it's a cool looking North Carolina Jordan type jersey. And they had a couple of other fakes here, but we didn't pick those up. Got excited when I saw this Mambo logo on the polo, but it's not. It's just a polo, and did comp this one up, and it's only about $20-$25 polo shirt, so not really worth my bother. And that's just some of the other store there. They had the game section, so really a lot of pride taken in this store. The games, or everything is well laid out. There's nice DVD and VHS section as well. They even give you some chairs so you can sit down and have a bit of a squeeze, look at why you're actually trying to buy them. And they had quite a lot of VHS, which is a bit interesting, 2 sides of VHS. The video game part, though, was a little bit of a failure. But again, that's not the op shop's fault. That's just people not donating the games. And that was the other side of the VHS. They had these Australians at the Olympics. So, okay, that must be a pretty old VHS tape. But again, we're pretty rushed. And we did find this Laguna Bulldogs hat. And also saw this Australian cricket hat. But again, I couldn't really go through a lot of this sort of stuff because we're on really tight time constraints to go to dinners, breakfast, lunches, and all that sort of stuff. So I thought I did pretty good considering the time, and we're kind of in and out in about maybe 10 minutes or so. And after breakfast, we headed off to Dean Street or Albury, the town centre, which is like the main street of Albury. And we had a bit of a look around. There were a couple of op shops in the area, but not anything great. Colour was kind of like, oh, we can go to this one. And we kind of found this church op shop, which I always get excited for. There's the local Ovens and Murray footy grand final or something coming on. This is across the road from the police station, so I'm not sure why they got the blue and white things up, maybe for the police officers that they're looking for or died. And it's like a church op shop, which I always get excited for. But it was more like a community one that serves the community, like homeless people and that sort of stuff. So they didn't really have a whole heap of stuff to sell, but we did see a couple of people getting like lunch from the op shop. So I think it's more like a community service for the homeless, more so than an actual op shop that's designed to find any bangers or great stuff. So we didn't really stay at this one too long. It was one of those home ones being converted to a home. And then we headed off to the Red Cross, and I've never had any luck in the Red Cross, so I wasn't holding my breath because it's the Red Cross, and then when you do find a good item, it's generally priced. I was pulling when it says push, silly. Did find an Iron Maiden, but it's just a generic one. It's not a tour one, and I wanted a bit of money for that. I'm not buying that for that much, so didn't pick anything up at the Red Cross. Did put the Iron Maiden back, and they had this other room at the back. And Carla was there. She kind of found, I wasn't sure if we could go out there, but we could. And she's having a bit of a look around, hopefully not spending too much money. And they had DVDs at the back as well, only $1 each. And I saw the Duck Dynasty, and they had I think they had 4 of these, 4 seasons. Should have probably picked them up, but they don't think the Duck Dynasty goes that well anyway. So decided not to get anything. I had a bit of a look at the Toy World before we left. But unfortunately, Toy World was a bit of a bust. Had nothing in there. And on the way back to Melbourne, we headed off to Yea. The bakery there is amazing. This little place here is not so much. This place here, not the best food, but the bakery in Yea. If you go to Yea, go to the bakery. Don't go to the takeaway place. And now on to the pickups. And we're on a pretty tough schedule. Our time schedule wasn't the best for the trip. We always had like a lot of family stuff happening and other stuff we had to do. So we only managed to, like I said, pretty much go to about 4 different op shops in that time. which was all good and well, but there was a couple there which I would like to spend a little bit more time in. There was a couple there that were absolutely crap. There was one that was okay, and there was actually a Vinnie's in Lavington, which actually was a really well laid out store, had a lot of good stuff, and it was well priced. But I'll show you what our pickups were for the week. The Albury trip, which was pretty much just a day. We went up there on the day of the funeral, then we had the wake, and then we went out for dinner that night. Then the next day we did a few other things and had breakfast, and we headed off. So we weren't in Albury for too long. So if we were obviously in Albury with Wodonga a little bit longer, we would have headed off to a few more places. And the first pickup was this Elsa or Frozen. This is new and sealed. This was like $2, so a pretty good price. It is sealed Lego for $2. I will probably give that to a friend who has a daughter that absolutely loves Frozen and Elsa, and would just see, obviously they're only about 3 years old. That's ages 5 to 12. And we also picked up, I think this is Frozen as well, Anna. It's just got a whole bunch of like colouring things in it and all that sort of stuff, but it's almost pretty much complete. The only thing incomplete about it is that there were stickers in there, and there's no stickers, so that's a pretty good pickup as well, I think. And I think they were basically $2 and $3. It was about $5 for both. So for someone who loves Elsa, they'll love that. That's money well spent. And we also picked up a Care Bear. So I don't normally pick up Care Bears. I don't really see the value. I think some people will sell them, they go for a higher price than actually worth. But we did pick up this fellow. He's bloody massive, this guy. And he was new with tags as well. New with tags, Care Bears, new with tags. It was only like $4. So that's a pretty good price. And the lady said she just put him out. Look at the size of this guy. I don't know, he's probably the biggest Care Bear I've ever seen in my life. So we did pick up this guy. Not sure what I'm going to do with him. Might be a Facebook pickup or something. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Like I said, Care Bears, I don't really think there's too much value in them. Not too much profit in them either. So it's not really an item I'll pick up generally. But for $4, I'm happy to have a bit of fun with that thing. Do need to get rid of it though, because it does take up a lot of room. What else did we pick up? These are just random items we did pick up. We picked up WrestleMania. We picked up a WrestleMania t-shirt. WrestleMania 33. That's a pretty cool t-shirt. WrestleMania 33, which was all in Orlando, Florida. So that's a pretty cool t-shirt. They also had like a New Day one there as well. But I think the New Day have disbanded. So I didn't buy that one. Maybe I should have. I don't know. Next thing we picked up was a John Stevens t-shirt. I think $5. Like a tour t-shirt. The Noise Works In Excess collection. It's got John Stevens doing some sort of kick there. John Stevens, Noiseworks, Aussie rock people kind of like him. Next thing we picked up was this Hurricanes. Well, no, what is it? Yeah, Highlanders, sorry, Highlanders. So Highlanders, Super Rugby jersey, Adidas tag. This was only about $12. It's actually not a bad price. $12. And again, we're in really fast, really quick, so we didn't hang around these shops too long. Highlanders, that's pretty cool. Next thing we picked up, this was actually one of the first ones we picked up. So new with tags, that's pretty much why I got it. New with tags, NCAA, and it's a Michigan Wolverines t-shirt. So that's pretty cool. New with tags is pretty much the reason I got that. And the last thing I picked up was a Dallas Cowboys jersey. How cool is that? That's a good size. That's like a 3XL. What is that? I can't read it. I haven't got my glasses. Just an XL, but that's a big XL. Big XL. I don't know how that's an XL. That's at least a 3XL in most other sizes. Bryant. Yeah, I could rock that. That's a pretty cool jersey. Dallas Cowboys. So that's all our pickups. Like I said, we weren't really there for thrifting. I just thought, hey, I'll get a bit of thrifting when I got a chance. Unfortunately, didn't get a whole heap of time. I would have loved to go to Wodonga. And one of the op shops actually gave us that list, which showed all the op shops in Wodonga, all the ones in Albury, all the ones in Lavington. And in Wodonga, there's a street called High Street. It's not the main street. And there's like about 4 or 5 within, maybe a kilometre, not even that. So we could have gone there and just really smashed it out. But again, time and all that, and being tired and just having to come back to Melbourne, maybe next time we'll hit up the Wodonga ones, but that was the Albury thrift. If you got this far, you're amazing. See you next time.